I've been accused of what? Of not being original, creative, or whatever, and just parasite and everything else. Okay? I just cut and paste.
Even your own stepson has claimed that you are not a genius because all you do is collage other people's genius. And I stood up for you at Christmas, and I'm going public.
That is the accusation, and I certainly endorse it and prove it. And I tell you, if it wasn't for Ion, we would have had no interesting cash flows since March. Of course.
I don't believe that.
Well,
I'm not agreeing.
Yeah, I probably would have had to start working, being original. So I was explaining. Okay, so this accusation, I'm not original, and I support that point. I know that Buzz says that, doing the YouTube since last September, end of September. Said that, after a month or so, well, maybe a couple months, because it was all fascinating at first, but then, by December, he thought, I think I've heard all that Bob's going to say, and he needs Bob's inspiration to make YouTube. I always, the next week, when he's getting bored, I come up with something new, and so that keeps it going for another 6 weeks, and then it starts to wane, and then I come up with something new. Well, on that boredom cycle, if I didn't come up with something in March, we may not have had any more YouTubes. So we're now up to like 320. So when Ion came in, it allowed me to have even more slack and relax around because Ion would give me the news. And I just would tell, when I do Melting Titanium Tuesday nights, I usually exploit it to get some material for Wednesday, okay?
I know that.
All right, well, so Ion's always give me the latest stuff, and so I don't have to do any thinking. And so I just continue parasiting along.
Right, so Buzz was getting bored, but he doesn't get bored because I say that you're the ultimate drug dealer. And the drugs you deal, people always keep coming back. They think they've reached the ultimate high, but then you give them the new stuff, they get even higher, and they always keep coming back for a new thing.
That's right, and Buzz, his temperament or his sense of himself totally resonates with the Ion philosophy. Ion...
I would agree with that indubitably.
Yeah. So he likes the Ion stuff, and he makes YouTubes about it right away. So I knew nothing about Magma. I knew nothing about iPods or anything. But that's...
So you claim, Bob.
That's right, yeah. That's my alibi. But Ion has said, because...
I'm saying this from you, Bob. You knew all about the Magma.
I'm the darning mouth, and I'm using a lot of words and concepts. Makes me sound encyclopedic, but I don't identify with anything and know nothing, and Ion says that's why I can accept Ion. Your average bear.
Okay, you know what you've just paraphrased there? For all of those who have not listened to the first Wiretap with Bob Marshall, I do have a philosophy degree, and basically what Bob has paraphrased here is when Socrates went to the Oracle of Delphi and said, Oracle of Delphi, who is the wisest of all? The Oracle of Delphi responded, well, Socrates, you are the wisest of all. And Socrates said, why? Because you know nothing.
And you live it.
This is Bob doing an instant replay between Ion as the Oracle, which is what he is. Ion is the Oracle.
Yeah.
It is the Oracle. Bob is as Socrates. Bob comes to the Oracle and says, who's the wisest of all? And the Oracle says, well, you are, Bob, because you know nothing.
And you live it, Bob.
Okay, so take it from there.
So, of course, I knew nothing about Magma or iPods or anything. So Ion pointed out that the thinning of the veil is having, cataclysmic effects and gentle, subtle effects on all levels of being.
Humanity.
And geology and everywhere. And on the astral plane and in the realms of rifting.
It's wreaking havoc.
It's wreaking, a nice massage. And so on the geological level, the magma is spinning in an interesting new way. And that magnetic effect of the spinning magma, and careful to point out, we're not talking about a polar shift, which a lot of the New Agers think is coming. It's not a major polar shift. It's the magnetism effect, and it affects the geomagnetic sphere too. So that will affect our chip technology.
Right.
And Ion told me, Bob, you could make a big hit with Steve Jobs and Bill Gates if you went and told them what you're learning here.
Right.
And I said, up yours, I ain't moving. I like Maui. I'm not telling anybody. And I said, that's my point. So the point is, though, we have this inside knowledge that the magma can affect our chip technology. There was a general warning that was said to me a month, 6 weeks ago or more. Well, just the update last week was, well, Bob, if you just Google it, you'll notice they're starting to have problems with the iPhone, or the iPod. And I didn't even bother Googling it. I just accept Ion for what he says, you know. I don't care. So, he's trying to make me busy.
Bob's just looking a busy.
No, I'm not looking a busy. I refuse to look a busy. And so I said, yeah, there's probably stuff out there. Someone will find it, post it on 5 Bodies. But I just said, yep, Ion is saying that the iPods are having a problem, and that's the beginning of this sort of treacherous situation we're moving into where our chip technology collapses. It's almost like, as James interpreted when he heard this, EM, electromagnetic pulse, EMP, I guess it was. And
okay. So that's the bad news.
No, wait a minute. No, it's not bad. It's not
landscape. There's always bad news. Is always good news.
That's right. It'll allow people to relax and allow more.
You see how I quickly I come in with the good news with a rush.
Yes.
Like McLuhan, and it comes in with a rush. Humpty Dumpty, when he falls, that's a good thing.
Yeah, because they couldn't put them back together again, so all the king's horses, all the king's men just relaxed and allowed. But back to the magnetic. Another place where this thinning veil is affecting us is the wavelength of our perception of what we see or light. It is shortening.
Oh, the cones and rods. Cones and rods.
Yes.
Get into cones and rods. That was fascinating. Yeah, but you made it a point on the last cash flow to boycott the concept of how the cones and rods are now going through a metamorphosis, and this is going to affect things.
Yes.
So I want you to delve into that, because the cones and rods concept is very, very interesting to me, because as far as I'm concerned, the conspiracy of the word has to do with the cones and rods.
You already thought of that?
Yes, I just thought of that.
Oh, just now.
Has to do with the conspiracy of the word.
Yeah, well, visual space, the eye. Yeah, duh. Yes. So yeah, the rods and cones, McLuhan talks about that and the effect of color TV on it in a postscript on tactility in the book Through the Vanishing Point. When I first heard Ion talking about the role of rods and cones, that was interesting. I got glimpses of it through what I heard with Carolyn and some other things. So then when it said, I didn't say it said, principle number 1, the change, the effect of the rods and cones, I go, oh yes, I remember that's the key thing. Now, I know nothing more about it. I'd have to go in and have a special session. Carol might have some stuff on it. But, again, I didn't write those things. That's just me. I'm just a dictaphone, right? Just receiving what's being dictated to me. So the point is that the magma, the changing of the frequency of the wavelength, much earthquakes and all that stuff, what else was changing? And the thinning of the veil is the ground for all this. And Ion says it's also the end of the 13,000-year cycle of the, what is the thing? Sun goes around everywhere. The Earth goes through all the planets. 26,000 years. Get the phrase. Perihelion, but not that. It's something else. Anyways, the 26,000-year cycle that the Mayans flew into, or at least half of the 13,000-year cycle, that has come to a major terminus right now, this period, and that's why Ion calls it the end of the beginning.